Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to present a really practical case how in the region of 3 Cs we can make connectivity not only trusted but also served on the reasonable green level. I'm starting with a story because behind every entrepreneurial project there is a story what has made the first move. Nobody is arguing that we are living in the really data-hungry societies. We are really hungry for data. But why we need them? Because we need to solve social, economical, environmental challenges. Data is the only source for the wisdom. But it's a dead circle. More data, more energy. More wisdom, more energy. To actually get benefit out of using those data or creating those data, to actually manage to turn this energy wasted, and in the next 10 years we'll see the importance of the energy to be consumed by data centers growing really fast and even exponentially. I think this picture actually illustrates our story, that it doesn't matter whether we connect a trusted way or a smart way, we would like to go still to the forest and pick up the fresh berries there with our kids in the coming generations. Or have more time for our free time, do our hobbies, and still on the clean nature with the clean food. And how we actually move from the brown field to the green field. It's easy to do when you have nothing, and in this region, in the smart countries of the 3 Cs, we actually had a brown field. We have a rather empty field for the qualitative data centers, and that is our challenge and our also opportunity to build them in the way that they're not only trusted and secure, but they also are focusing on the energy efficiency. In order to do that, the principle of the green thinking should be in the smallest chip of your organization. I don't talk about the paper caps or plastic caps. I actually talk about the real efficiency on the procedures and processes. And to relieve this hunger for the energy-efficient data centers and secure data centers, that's why this company was created. In order to do trustful data center services, you must have some experience. My personal experience comes from the different industries like banking and telecom, investing, digital, and also advisory, and now currently working on this Greenergy Data Center project. But through all my life, I have not been the IT person. It's more about the digital, I would equal to the common sense. Innovation, I would equal to the strategy, and trust to the future-proof. Those key words, common sense, as we say in Estonian, talupojamõistus, or the strategy, strategic value chain management, and also the future-proof are the key words to be focused beside the digital keyword. What we're doing right now, we are building one of the largest in the Baltics data center with this secure, smart, sustainable, and future-proof. It's still under construction. 1st of November is our first live date, but it takes enormous capacity of the skills and money and also time and nerves to build that from scratch. When this project was started by the entrepreneur Gert Evert, then nobody believed it could be done. But now with the money and new business plan and new vision for this data center site, we actually have even brighter future. Our key offer is to make the smallest possible ecological footprint. It all depends from the technology we can acquire. It's the highest availability and also the strongest security. I think we don't deserve anything less. Any government or public service or even the smallest startup services, the consumer expects them to be secure and with a small ecological footprint. You don't expect that driving 1 kilometer with the bike, you actually spend more energy than you save moving from car to the bike. The landscape where we operate is actually supporting our vision quite a lot. We have more and more digitally worked hours. We have more and more digitally spent free time. We share our lives digitally, also this event today here. And also we are digitally storing more and more dust into the servers. This is the framework we have to operate. And those key megatrends and those key words are nothing giving us else than more and more data. But EU has taken many, many steps here to be actually one of the leading lighthouses how we can make it more responsible. Because with the big opportunity, there is also big responsibility. And I think when we talk about it, we have to be very focused on the key term called corporate digital responsibility, what makes us responsible. And there is a lot of self-regulating acts now going on, like the Climate Neutral Data Center Pact or the Code of Conduct for Data Centers. There is plenty of wisdom on the paper to be implemented now with our next investment. The ability to project data center energy use, I think, is one of the key climate policy priorities, because that will drive our efficiency to optimize the same data. Smart connectivity, many previous speakers have talked about that a lot. I will just remind where it comes from. It's easy to find on the internet when you go to the 3Cs homepage and look at the keyword smart connectivity, the digital enablers enabling us to make investments into the energy and transport future-proof. This is the main concept of it. The 3Cs region, as our president was mentioning, is well positioned to be the champion of the smart connectivity. We have many borders, but we have the same history, we have the same legacy system, we have the same set of values to be changed. We don't have yet still the same set of values for the future, but we have same set of historical values we need to get rid of. And that brings us to the same level of start. And this 100 million people is one of the largest cross-country, cross-border territory where we can test something on the largest scale. Smart connectivity needs digital infrastructure. Next, digital infrastructure needs more data. Data needs energy, safety and trust. Trust needs transparency in technology. We're coming to the finish, but we need to put something between the smart connectivity and digital footprint is a trusted green data, not just trusted data, but trusted green data. We should not forget this part of our journey. Investment is one important part to make everything trusted. Yes, money doesn't have nationalities, but money has interests. And interests could be very different and may not be sharing the same values. Our ambition when we started to look for the money for our plan was to have a strong vision, to have a strong set of skills, and to have an investor who supports it. And therefore, investors should also have a vision, should also have a courage, but also should have sufficient funds. And as the 3C Initiative Investment Fund was just recently created, there was almost a perfect match with our vision. Territory, the Eastern European countries of the EU, industry, they are investing into digital know-how. There's a professional investment manager who has a lot of experience building up the digital infrastructure companies. Also the deal size, because this money is not small what we're talking about here. We're talking hundreds of millions to build data centers in multiple countries, and that's the equity only. And also investment period. You cannot do it in the short-term money. The customers you're going to serve, they need to be sure that the stakeholders have sufficient funds to support the life-critical systems, whether it's governments or companies. Little advice to any other entrepreneur who wants to build something with this kind of money. You have to think like investor and think big. You have to build an invincible vision. The vision should be longer than 5 or 10 years. It must be 25, 50 years vision. Otherwise, you will not have a match. And you rather start with consultations, not negotiations, because it's a matter of balance between all those multiple interests around it. And you have to act despite the COVID. We acted during the COVID times. We're building during the COVID times. Believe me, it's not an easy one, but you have to act. And also, doing these projects, you have to respect the process. It's very hard for the aggressive entrepreneur to maybe sometimes cope with all those processes and procedures, but you have to respect it. You have to focus on the vision and never lose it from your side. And you also have to take the lead. There are so many people around who have to take their part of the job, but there must be one person every morning at 9 o'clock at least, maybe even earlier, to lead this process, because there are other priorities over all other tables. And also take the advice. Don't be stubborn. What our current status is, as I mentioned to you, the facilities in the commissioning process, the final procedures and compliances are going through the check. We have a critical mass of our first anchor customers, telecoms, banks, many important IT infrastructure providers. We are now going to focus our next phase of growth. We are going to open the 1st of November, but what we see is to focus now on the growth, service and efficiency. Next, we have to focus on the connectivity. It means that we need to build a cyber ecosystem around our customer base in order for them to feel safe, not only because of the walls and the electricity supply, but also of the cyber threats. And the cloud connectivity, what was mentioned already here. We see the more and more hybrid solution used by governments, companies. We must be the best home for the clouds. And data vault and data embassies, offering everyone to put their storage of the offline data into the secure environment as well. That maybe gives us a bit more time sometimes go to those clean seas around those 3 Cs, catch better fish, and not to worry so much about our digital trust. Thank you very much. That was my short insights to this very practical case study in Estonia.